Hi everybody, welcome back to my Flosstube channel. My name is Rachel and this is Lemonade Stitching. It's been about 3 weeks since my last Flosstube update, so I have a lot to share with you guys. Some life updates to share, some acquisitions, whips, stuff like that. So let's jump right on into it. I actually tried to film this video last Thursday and it was like the evening and I turned my camera on and I had no battery. So we left Friday morning to go to a wedding, my boyfriend Graham and I. So now it's, I don't even know what day it is, Wednesday, and we're finally getting back around to it. Life's been a little crazy. Like I said, we were out of town for a wedding this past weekend. I just moved in to a new apartment. I moved from Rochester, New York to Lexington, Kentucky. So I'm in a townhouse, so I've been working on getting furniture and cleaning up and unpacking, and it's been crazy. In my head, I was like, oh, well, I'll get to Kentucky, I'll have a couple weeks before I start work, I'll have so much time to just relax and cross stitch, and it's like, there's always something to be done, always something to clean or reorganize or hang up. I just mounted our TV yesterday, so lots to do, but it's been super great. I'm loving it so far. The weather's been pretty nice. It's a weird adjustment from it being pretty cold all the time to it being 80 and sunny, but I'm loving it. And the other big thing that has happened in the last 3 weeks is I actually adopted a cat. So let me see if she wants to come over here and say hi. Come here. And not just a cat, I adopted a kitten. So my boyfriend and I are officially cat parents. We haven't committed to a name yet. We're still testing out a couple. We just got her Monday night, so like 2 days ago. But she's super, super cute. She looks pretty black and white, but I think she's gonna turn out to be more brown. Okay, she wants to play. But she's so adorable. It seems like the perfect fit for us, and so I'm very, very excited. I've been wanting a cat for a while, but obviously with traveling all the time, that wasn't really feasible, so I told myself once I got here and we had a place to live and I had a job, then we could get a kitten. So she's living with us now and we love her, so sorry if there's a lot of noise. She's in a playful mood right now. I also did get a job. I know I didn't have one in my last update, but I will be starting a job on June 5th, hopefully, so that'll be good. I'm very excited, very happy that that is a weight lifted off my shoulders, because it's very, very stressful with the job search. So anybody going through that, I send you all my thoughts and prayers because it is tough out there. But anyway, with that, I think those are all the life updates. Let's get into stitching. The past week I haven't done too much stitching, just with traveling and the cat. I haven't had a ton of time. We also just got a couch yesterday, so stitching in bed is only fun for so long when you don't have good lighting and good back support and a stand and all that. So it's been hard to stand on. I don't want to stitch in my folding chairs because you don't have real dining room chairs yet. So, but yeah, before I got here and the first couple of days, I definitely got a lot done. So I'm excited to show you guys. First, I actually had to finish. I don't have it with me anymore, but I finished the mountain circle scene that I was giving away as a nursery gift, and I'll insert a picture for you guys. It came out really, really great. I think I said in my last video that I was a little worried about it in the beginning, but once I finished it and I washed it and stretched it and framed it, it looked fantastic. I put it in a different frame than I originally thought. I was gonna put it in a white square frame, but I ended up going with a gray 12 by 12 frame with a white mat to make it 8 by 8, and it looks phenomenal. So I was able to give it to my cousins, and their baby girl was actually born, I think, a couple of days ago. So she is enjoying it in her new nursery. But that is my only, and then I have like a partial finish. Last time, I have everything in this bag, I haven't even taken it out yet. Last time I talked to you guys, I talked about the Maloka free sale that I was doing, Maloka Designs. She does a lot of mandala animal print pieces, and so she's doing a free stitch along through her Facebook group right now. So this is a start and finish because you haven't seen it yet, but this is the first part of the sale. We don't know what the animal is yet. I'm thinking it's a squirrel. The next part is gonna be down here, and I've been seeing a lot of pictures in the Facebook group, and it looks like it's a little foot paw thing, and then it kind of goes up into this I don't know, bushy, could be a bushy tail on this side. So that's what it's looking like. I'm loving the colors. I was a little nervous at first because it's very different than what I've stitched before, but I think it looks great. It was really fun to stitch. And yeah, part 2 came out like probably a week ago now, so I am a little behind. But there's still probably a week before part 3 comes out. And now that I have a couch and a TV, I'm hoping to get a lot of stitching done this afternoon if Kitten can behave. The first night we kept her confined to this room, which is our like guest room. I know it's empty right now. But so like her litter box, food, water's all up here. But yesterday with supervision, we started letting her roam the house. She really is very outgoing, very energetic. So she was not shy or scared or anything. Every time we would come in here, she was like jumping at the bit to get out the door. So we did start letting her go downstairs and explore with supervision, making sure she's not getting into anything she isn't supposed to. But so far it's been really good. Great with the litter box, which I love. So we also have all hardwood floors, which is good. I was looking for that in a townhouse because I was like, I know we want to get a pet and I'm not going to deal with pets and carpet. So it's been great. Okay, so that's it for finishes. And then my whips, the first one, or the second one I guess, that I worked on was Friends, and this one is going to look a lot different than the last time you guys saw it. It's actually still in the hoop because I was working on it when we drove to the wedding. But this one I actually finished outlining all of the characters and I wiped off the grid lines. In my previous videos there's been grid lines on this piece and they've been there for years, and now that I finally finished the outline I was like, it's time to take those off. They're hideous. I hate looking at them. So this is where Friends is at. I finished the hair for Joey and his skin, and I did start on a shirt, but you can't really tell because it's white. More white stitching. But it looks great. It was funny, in my last video I talked about how I hated white stitching. I never wanted to do it again because that was all I had left in my mountain piece. And then I picked this up. This had white stitching. I picked up the Love Bug Sal, which I'm going to show next, and that had white stitching. And I was like, I just can't escape it. But this is Friends, and it's looking great. I don't stitch on that one too much. I kind of save it for when I want something more mindless, just because it is those huge blocks of color. But it's been going good. Okay, and then the third whip that I worked on was the Love Bug Sale. This is by Sprouting Lupine, I think is the designer, and Marjorie made stitches. Started this sale in February, I have to remember. I forget if it was the beginning of February or Valentine's Day, but it's normally pink, and I am doing a conversion to purple. So this is where it's at. This is the whole piece. I think I have 3-inch borders on this fabric. But let me fold this up and get it closer to where I'm actually working. This is where I am. So I started this motif, and this is gonna be the year with some like hearts. And then I did these. It's hard to tell on the viewfinder, so I hope you guys can see it. I did these like chevrons here. These were the white stitching that I had to do. So I'm loving this, very fun. It's turning out really nice. And I'm excited to work on it some more. She is being crazy right now. I think I forgot to say too, she's 9 weeks old. So she is a baby. And I just realized I haven't been giving the information for what these are stitched on and everything, but I actually just created a Google Doc with all of my whips and my finishes on there with all their fabric info and links to patterns if I could find them and photos. So I'm gonna have that linked below for anything. Obviously I forgot to say all 3 of those pieces what they're stitched on, but you can check that Google Doc and it'll have everything. And I was actually inspired by X Stitch MD, another Flosstuber, to create that. I was watching one of her Flosstube videos a couple weeks ago, and she was like, oh yeah, just check my Google Doc down below. And I was like, what a good idea, because then I don't have to remember and say it every time, because I get talking about so many other things that I just forget to say it. Okay, so those are my whips that I worked on. Compared to my last video, lots of progress. It if I had filmed this video a week or two ago, lots of progress, slightly less progress for 3 weeks, but that's okay. And then I do have some acquisitions. So first thing I got were some new Adam Hart cross stitch floss bobbins. And these ones are actually different than the ones I already have. I went on her website a couple of weeks ago, I haven't checked in a while, and she was out of the bobbins that I like to use, but she did have these, like this imperfect set of her blended thread set, so it has space to put 2 colors, and it still has the like used color side and then the hole for the ring. And these were half off because it's one of her like imperfect sets, so sometimes they're just cut a little wonky or they have rough edges and they're just not up to her like high quality standards. So she'll discount them. So I got this pack of 50 for half off, and this will be really nice. I think I have some, I forget what project I had blended threads in. Maybe a project I already finished, but since they were half off, I figured I'd pick them up because I'm sure I will have another project down the road that I need it, or you know, it's not like you have to use them for blended threads. You could use them for anything, and I definitely always need more bobbins or floss straps. These are technically the floss straps, not bobbins. Another thing that I picked up, this was from Amazon, was a new hoop. I've been seeing some people use square embroidery hoops, so I thought I'd try one out. So I got this square one. It's definitely bigger than I thought it was gonna be. But I don't know, I think I like it. It's definitely weird to hold something this big. So I've been doing more kind of like resting it on my arm as I'm stitching and then kind of supporting the fabric with my hand and kind of guiding the thread. I don't know why, I don't know if it's just me or if other people have this too, but I am just prone to so many like slip knots in my thread. So I kind of rest this on my arm and guide the thread with my left hand while I'm doing the needle with my right hand, and that seems to be helping. I stitched the mystery stitch along on this, and I really enjoyed it. I liked that I could fit the whole thing in here without having to move it around on the fabric. That was really nice. So far so good. The only thing that makes me nervous about this is the inside is like, has this ridge in here, and then it sandwiches but like pushes the fabric in. And I'm just worried about using it on a project that's larger and it ruining the stitches that I've already done, more so than a normal hoop would that's flat on the inside edge. But we'll see, we haven't gotten there yet. So far so good. I also like that it's pink and it looks a little nicer in photos than my like neon teal one that I have been using for a long time. Which, you know, for practicality, it doesn't really matter, but I want to take some nice photos. I want to up my Instagram game a little bit. Hopefully I'll have some better lighting in this house than I do at my parents' house. So I want to, you know, take some nicer pictures of my work. I want to be able to see the color better of the fabric and the floss. And I just don't think this is the prettiest, and I also don't want to press my cross stitching all the time. So we're figuring it out, trial and error, but so far so good. We'll see how it keeps going. And the brand is Nerge, which I have heard of some other people using. So I like it so far. I think it was like $10. And like I said, I just got it on Amazon. There's a lot of different sizes, some different colors, mostly like pastel colors, which are really pretty. And then the last little, I don't know if we'll call this an acquisition, but I found it in my house while I was moving. So if we backtrack a little bit, I made a video back in December of going through my stash and all my patterns and floss and stuff that my grandma had passed down to me. And in that video, I talked about this birdhouse. Let me take it out of the sleeves so there's no reflection. I talked about this birdhouse pattern, which was a kit, and I have the floss in this bag. I guess I should have taken stuff out of this bag, but I didn't. And I talked about how I had this mystery floss card that I thought went with it. You know, a huge floss card, lots of floss. And I had the pattern, but I did not have the fabric for it. And I was like, I swear my grandma started this. I feel like I've seen it before, but it's lost forever. And yeah, so I was sad about it, but I was like, someday I'll kit it up and I'll do it, or maybe I'll do a conversion, or who knows. A couple weeks later, I was talking to my grandma. I like went to visit her for lunch or dinner or something. and she was telling me how, she's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I just donated it to Salvation Army. And I was like, what do you mean you just donated? She's like, yeah, I found it, and I don't know. And I was like, well, I feel like you didn't have it at your house, but if you did, sad, because I would have done it, but whatever. So I just, again, assumed it was lost forever and that we were gonna have to start over. Well, fast forward to beginning of May, and I'm packing and I'm going through all of my stuff in the basement, all my craft supplies and games and everything to make sure to kind of figure out like what's my parents', what's mine, what am I bringing, all that kind of stuff. And I found this cardboard tube. And my dad loves to save like any type of boxes, packaging, whatever. And so I found this cardboard tube and he had labeled it needlepoint. And I was like, what is this? And it was like big. And I was like, what could possibly be in here? So I take it down, I open it, and sure enough, the birdhouse piece was in there, rolled up, safe and sound. It is folded now because folding it takes a lot less space than the tube it was in. And I just don't really mind that much folding it. But I found it. I'm so excited. It looks amazing. The only problem is there's like literally no margin on the top. I'm not sure what kind of margin will end up being on the bottom. I haven't looked at the pattern yet, but I found it. I'm so excited. This is one of my like to-do things. I'm gonna put some just like scrap fabric at the top so that it's easier to put in hoop or whatever. And I'm gonna get this finished at some point. I don't have any set plans, but I'm just so excited that I found it. I literally like ran upstairs. I was like, oh my God, look what I found. So nobody else really like cared, but I was very excited about it. So this is with me and it will be getting finished maybe this year, hopefully this year. I feel like I don't want to get in the habit of having like super long projects that, you know, take forever to finish. I probably will end up having that, but I'm trying to steer away from that. But I definitely want to finish this. So yeah, that is all my new stuff. Now that I am kind of settled, I mean, like I'm still unpacking and adjusting and figuring out how things are gonna look. There's nothing on my walls, you know, whatever. But now that I'm here and all my clothes are in my closet and that kind of stuff, I am excited, and we have a couch. I am excited to pull out some older whips. I wanna work on my Gilmore's Girl. Wait a second, I worked on Autumn and Stars Hollow. Well, I didn't bring it up here, so I'll have to show you guys in the next video, but I only did a little bit of work on Autumn and Stars Hollow, but anyway, I want to work on that more. I want to pull out Summer Symphony again. I want to, what are a couple other things that I have going? Oh, that little house, what is that called? Calico house. I need to pull that out and figure out what I'm going to do with it. Last time I talked to you guys about that pattern, I had made a couple of mistakes that I was just like, I need to put this away and never look at it again. So and then I also have like half started projects in my just like craft bin that I found in that stash video a couple of months ago. But with traveling all the time and just being between places, it's not easy to travel with a ton of ongoing projects. So I just had narrowed it down to like 3 at a time, which you guys have seen a lot of, but I definitely want to pull out some new ones in the next like week and a half before I start work and get going through some more rotations, figure out what kind of my organizational system is gonna be now that I don't need to be traveling with my projects all the time. For the past couple of months, I've just been traveling with this like one clear plastic like linen bag, and I can pretty easily fit 3 patterns in here just because I don't do huge patterns, and I don't travel with huge patterns, I should say. So I would just keep 3 in here at a time, and this is what I could work on. But I'm very excited to start getting some more projects in the rotation and making progress on some different projects. I'm kind of nervous on how to be stitching with the kitten. We'll see how that goes, how that affects my stitching time and progress. But anyways, thank you so much for what, let me check my notes really quick, make sure I didn't have anything else that I wanted to tell you guys. I wrote down notes in hopes that I would stay on track today, and I did an okay job. yeah, that was everything I had for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping to make videos a little closer together now that I'm, again, not traveling every weekend. I'm very excited to be sitting still. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm very excited. I do love to travel, but I'm excited to just be someplace. I don't have to go anywhere until like August, other than maybe like a weekend trip to Cincinnati. I definitely want to go to Keepsakes now that I'll be like an hour and a half away. But anyway, I'm gonna end this here. I've tried to end it like 3 times. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.